Good morning, class. I'm Mikael Phillips, and today we're going to be talking about nutrition, diet deficiency, body images, eating disorders, growing bigger and stronger, and organ growth. First, I'm going to start with nutrition, which is the process of providing and obtaining the foods necessary for health and growth. All changes of puberty depend on adequate nourishment, yet many adolescents do not consume the daily amount of vitamins and minerals. This is because as teenagers, they like to skip breakfast, eat late at night close to midnight, guzzle down sodas, and eat a lot of salty and processed snacks. One of the main reasons for this is their hormones, which affects their diurnal rhythms and their appetite. Another reason for this is that as teenagers, we like to seek our independence and avoid eating family dinners at the table. Cohort and age is critical in the United States, and each generation tends to eat less healthier than the one previous before them. 18-year-olds tend to eat a less well balanced diet than when they did when they were 10. Most adolescents consume calories, but in 2009, only 14% of high school seniors have consumed the recommended 3 or more servings of vegetables a day. Not consuming the daily amount of vitamins and minerals needed during the adolescent stage are very critical and will catch up to you later on in life because, not trying to play the race game, but a lot of African Americans, such as myself, we love our fried foods and southern cooking, which are very salty and high in sugar. And during our teenage years, we kind of feel invincible when it comes to health, figure we could play the catch up game later on in life. But depending on the genes and what's in your bloodline, most people find themselves taking medications for high blood pressure and diabetes, which leads to my next topic of diet deficiencies. Calcium, iron, zinc, and drinking milk are among the main deficiencies found in adolescents. And just 3 glasses alone a day is a little over half the recommended amount of calcium needed. The daily recommended amount of calcium needed is 1,300 milligrams, but the average U.S. teen consumes less than 500 milligrams a day. The cutoff for anemia is a lot lower in boys than it is in girls because boys naturally require iron to be healthy. We do become iron deficient when it comes to strenuous physical labor and sports. The major concern with all of this is that about half the adult bone mass is required between the ages of 10 to 20, and the lack of drinking milk, calcium, iron, and zinc leads to the contemporary teenager developing osteoporosis, which is a major cause of disability, injury, and death in late adulthood. Okay, now I'm going to transition into the next topic, which is body image, which is another reason for poor nutrition in teenagers because of the anxiety to have that perfect body image according to society standards. For women, they find themselves dieting to have that much more smaller look. Most women feel as if that's what most men are attracted to is those small petite figures, everything tight, small stomach, etc., etc. For most men, they like to be tall, have that muscular, lean look, be able to put on a shirt and you can see their physiques through the shirt. You'll often find men spending their money in stores like GNC or places that sell protein powders. Spend a lot of time in the gym to get that pump, working on abs and stuff like that to get that special attention for when the summer comes around. Put on a wife beater, go to the beach and stuff, try to show off in front of the ladies. Ladies do the same thing, vice versa. Be able to put on a onesie or a two-piece or whatever. And usually around this time of the year, you'll see that most people look in the mirror and they don't like what they see, and this is what leads to surgeries. So just to piggyback on the two slides that you saw about the statistics of surgeries in 2015, well, first I want to say not trying to pick on the ladies here, but 91% of teenage late girls find themselves unhappy with the way their body looks. A lot find themselves trying to do something about it. Unfortunately, only 5% manage to achieve their goal of having that society or media type figure, and 58% of college girls feel pressure to maintain a certain weight. Um, so if you know anybody that is trying to lose weight or just have a healthier diet, you'll find that it's extremely hard. It's a lifestyle. You have to be obedient to it, and some people just can't do it. And because of that, that leads to depression and even thoughts of suicide. But some find themselves at peace when it comes to just eating, and they feel better, which leads to my next topic of eating disorders. Another point that I forgot to mention, and I'm going to move on from it, is that when it comes to diet and exercise and to lose weight, most female teenagers find themselves investing in diet pills to help speed up the process. And for guys, that are desperate to have muscular gains, like right now, they tend to invest in steroids to help speed up the process. But shifting over, I'm going to talk about two types of eating disorders, which is anorexia and bulimia. The first disorder I'm going to talk about is anorexia, which is a disorder that you pretty much do on your own because it's a voluntarily starvation of your body. Not only is it extremely dangerous because it leads to organ failure and thoughts of suicide among the 5 to 20% of people that suffer from it, but if you find that your body mass index, BMI for short, is 18% or lower, or if you find that you lost 10% of your body weight within a month or two, anorexia is said to be suspected. But here I'm going to give you four main things to look out for to see if you suffer from it. The second disorder I'm going to talk about is bulimia, which is a lot more complex than anorexia because it's 3 times more common. Bulimia is a disorder that's clinically presented in 1 to 3 female teenagers and young adults in the United States. People with bulimia find themselves to consume thousands of calories within a short period of time and then get it all out their system by vomiting. Most people with this, they do maintain a normal body weight, but it does have some serious health problems, such as affecting your gastrointestinal system. Hope I said that right, and cardiac arrest due to electrolyte imbalance. And just like anorexia, I'm going to give you some key things to look out for to see if you suffer from it. Bulimia, unlike anorexia, does have a few pointers and tips to help you out with the disorder. One of the main things that you shouldn't do is diet. Having a strict diet only preoccupies and even gives you a much more obsession with foods. Do not starve yourself. Instead, you should eat much more when you feel the moderate urge of hunger and eat on the regular. Starving yourself only gives your body more powerful cravings. Having powerful cravings is your body's way of telling you that it is needed of nutrition. Um, you have to learn to live with it, tolerate unpleasant feelings, and challenge your dysfunctional thoughts. But I'm going to move on to the next topic because talking about vomiting is just nasty. So that leads me to my next topic of growing bigger and stronger. Growth spurt, which is a term that we're all familiar with. You hear it a lot once you're growing up, and now that you're young adults, you experience it by watching little kids grow up. Growth spurt is a sudden, uneven change in size in pretty much all your body parts. So your fingers and toes lengthen before your hands and feet, your hands and feet before your arms and your legs, and your arm and legs before your torso. When these body parts begin to grow, they're not all symmetrical. So one leg, one breast, one ear may tend to grow later on than the other. As your bones lengthen and grow stronger, children start to eat more so they can gain weight. Where their weight is distributed all depends on their hormones, hereditary, their diet or exercise, and their gender. For example, the average 17-year-old girl has twice the percent of body fat as a male classmate whose weight is mostly distributed to muscle. The height spurt follows the weight spurt, and then a year or two later, the muscle spurt occurs. For males, the arm developing muscle is twice as strong at the age of 18 than it was at the age of 8. And then pretty much all the rest of your muscle groups are gender neutral. Really didn't have a lot of information on the sequence of height, weight, and muscle, so I'm going to transition to my last topic, which is organ growth. So, to give you a quick summary recap, when it comes to nutrition and diet deficiencies, knowing your blood type pretty much tells you everything that you need to know. It gives you a list of things that you should and shouldn't have, things that are very beneficial for you. For example, if you're uh, type B positive, we're very resistant to heart attacks and cancers. But on the flip side, there are some things that I like personally myself that I can't have, such as bacon, chicken, pork, and ice cream. That's why I'm sitting in the dark because I'm sad by that. But I still eat it anyway. But that's just to name a few of things that you shouldn't have, and the list goes so on and so on for A and type O and stuff like that. When it comes to body imaging, yeah, people like to spend money on wraps, like I said, diet pills, surgeries, and stuff like that. And one thing that you shouldn't get overwhelmed about is that if you find yourself to be overweight, you can still be healthy and be overweight. You can live a long life and be overweight. Not everybody's supposed to be the same size, the same weight. So don't get frustrated. Don't get upset when you see someone skinny. Yeah, you should try to lose weight because it does help you, but at the same time, just love the skin that you're in and just be you. That's all the information that I have. I hope it was very, very beneficial for you. Thanks for listening to me.